I'm dying. We're having the fan on. Hello everybody, and welcome to week 2 of Immigration. Not as much happened this week as was planned. I was supposed to go and fill in my employment support allowance form to add Bunny to the claim. I was supposed to get stuff from my doctor. We got the marriage certificate, our official one. Where is it?
Oh.
Yeah, we did get our marriage certificate though, posted over from her dad via UPS. He said it cost $57. $57 for overnight shipping. It's an A4 piece of cardboard. And seriously.
Hello.
Here it is.
It's our official one.
Yes.
It's twice.
That means that it's my bunny,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm her senpai.
Yeah, we didn't really get much done this week because he was sent to the
I went into the hospital.
hospital.
I had really terrible pain here,
Mm-hmm.
which I've had intermittently in the past, but this time it got so bad that I went to the hospital. They gave me morphine, and it still hurt.
Didn't do anything.
No.
The pain sort of increased while they were giving him morphine.
Yeah, we were there for the better part of a day, and it appears, whilst they did the blood tests, it turned out that I had elevated white blood cells, so there was some kind of infection. There's also something going a bit wibble with the liver, but they don't know exactly what, so I'm going back in for an ultrasound. One thing I do know is I've been having pain here for a while, and it seems to flare up mostly during times of stress and or when I've eaten too much. I hadn't eaten too much this time, I can tell you that much for sure. So yeah, just another one of those things that I'm making up about, you know, how stressful my life is. I have spoken to my doctor now since I got back. I kept him informed. I told him about what had happened, and he's going to be getting supporting evidence to go along with the immigration claim. When he started filling out all the questions, there was a massive list, 9 pages of questions about where you come from, what do you do, where do you come from, Cotton Eye Bunny?
Yeah.
Ish. And all the extra paperwork we need to get. We need to do I need to get a house report thing. What are they called? Some kind of assessment anyway. The guy needs to come in and take measurements and say that after she's living here we wouldn't be in breach of the rules of having too many people in the place. And it's a 3-bedroom apartment anyway, and even if it was just the one room, I'm the only person here and you're allowed to have 2 people with this space for a double bed, so that's not a problem. It's going to cost us £90, which was we didn't know about initially, but that's fine. I get the PIP next week. I can cover that. We still have just over £1,300 left over from the money that Bunny's dad sent. I'll pay for the actual
Government fee?
Yeah, the actual application fee itself, and the
Healthcare fee.
The NHS surcharge, which they predicted will come out to about £500. I think it's more likely to be lower actually, because surely that's going to be based on your projected access to the NHS over the next couple of years. I mean, well, he's 25 in otherwise good health.
I've only gotten birth control.
Yeah, and birth control's free anyway, even to non-residents, as long as you have a British address. It's one of those things they figure, you know, that makes sense, because, you know, first of all, it stops people from having babies that they can't afford to look after. Secondly, it actually helps with immigration, because if they have access to if people have access to birth control, they're less likely to have babies here and then use that as justification for being able to stay here, because their babies automatically become a citizen if you're born here.
But just because your babies become a citizen doesn't mean you can stay.
You can then use that as grounds for getting citizenship for yourself.
Oh, okay.
I mean, on its own, it's not going to be like, it's not going to win the case for you, but it can be, it can help, obviously. Because you can show that your child would have a better standard of living here and your child would have a much better standard of living here if you were here too. So, sort of thing. Anything else we want to add? This week was pretty eventful, but very little happened that was relevant. You know, the whole.
Well, the hospital thing was
Yeah.
a big downer.
I'm still getting twinges of pain here sometimes. Not so much the way it was, but because it was so painful for a while.
Really
when I was laying, I sort of,
management.
when I breathe in, I sort of do that so that it didn't hurt. Now I've pulled the muscles here. Taking cocodamol like 3 times a day.
That's not so bad. Because you're supposed to take it.
Well, yes, but
4?
until it's up to 4 times a day until the pain goes away. The pain hasn't gone away. I'm still taking it 2-3 times a day. So, yeah, maybe ultrasound next week. Just fingers crossed they'll find out what it actually is this time. Because I've had blood tests done more than once. I've even had a poop test. That didn't show anything.
Wait, you had a poop test in the hospital?
Not in the hospital, no. With my local GP.
When was that?
A while back now. I sent stool samples in there twice and
this
nothing
year?
showed up. Yeah.
Okay.
Once this year and once last year. Everybody seems to be pretty much certain that it's gallstones. It's just it didn't show up in the blood work conclusively.
I hope they don't remove your gallbladder.
Had some x-rays, it didn't show up there, and if it's gallstones they shouldn't have to. I'm pretty sure they can just do a minor surgery to remove the stones themselves. Or if I'm lucky, then they can they can give me medication that will help shift them through the system or something. I don't know exactly how. I just know that it was not pleasant. It hurt a lot. Like I told the
Nurse?
The paramedics. You see this? It happened when I was 5. I fell on a glass bottle. In 1985, we didn't have anaesthetic for children, so not only did I do that, I then had it stitched up without anaesthetic. This hurt more.
And for
Believe
a while,
me when I say I know a thing or
you
two
said
about
that
pain.
was the worst pain you ever felt.
Well, it was. Until Thursday.
Why didn't you rate it a 10? Why did you just stick around 7?
Because when they asked me, that's what it was. That's after I'd vomited a couple of times. Each time I vomited, the pain sort of settled down for a while. By the time the paramedics got here, it was already back up to an 8 or a 9, and I've just vomited really heavily, and I brought up bile and everything. Like egg yolk.
Ew.
Yeah. So that's our immigration diary.
Huge.
Not much in the immigration going on, just me spending time in hospital and dying.
And having nightmares.
Yeah, oh, that's a good point, yeah. For about 3 or 4 days now, I was unable to sleep. First, it was because I was too hot and I was starting to feel unwell. Gave me antibiotics, intravenous antibiotics whilst I was in the hospital. That was disturbing me. Then, the Thursday morning, I barely slept because it was too warm. And then I had a dream about the last time I got pain really bad like this, which was after Bunny was here, and we did phone the ambulance, but by the time they got here, I'd vomited and the pain had started to recede. This time that didn't help. It went away a little bit, but it kept coming back. Let me put it this way. Even though that happened when I did vomit and it was really, really bad, I have never felt so glad of anything in my life as well as bringing up bile that time, because it made it bearable for a while. But anyway, the Thursday morning I was dreaming about the last time it happened and woke up and the pain was real. Then on the Friday, after we'd come back, I couldn't sleep because I was too hot, partly because the weather was too hot, partly because I was still fighting off the infection. I was still in pain. Last night I was like, great, I can finally sleep. I was woken up about at once every hour because I was having nightmares all night about a little girl being abducted and her and Bunny being drowned and people trying to stop her from spending time with me and telling her that I wasn't worth her time. And I know we're not saying very much about what's going on at the moment as far as the application itself, but the main reason I wanted to do this was to let people know just how stressful it can be, but more importantly than that, I don't know that they're not the only ones who've ever done it, and it's still worth doing. One way or another, I'm going to make sure this works out for us and we'll have a success story. And if we can do it, so can other people. I just hope that we can help. Do you have anything else to add, Meredith?
No.
I know it was mostly me jabbering this time.
Yeah. Well, you say that me being around helps it.
It does. And that's why I want you here. And if anything, what happened on Thursday just shows all the more reason for why you should be here. I could see it in her eyes every time I looked at her. She was on the brink of falling apart, but you held it together the whole time for my benefit. And then
I tried.
Friday morning, I kept waking up and it's like, get me a drink, please, and move the cat out of the way because he's in the way of my feet, and then you get a different blanket because every time you move, it gives me a cold flush. And I must have been, I know that I was one of the most insufferable assholes we've ever come across, and I was trying really hard not to do that, but there were just so many tiny little things that were constantly bugging me, and you didn't complain even once, even though I was disturbing your sleep.
And I get grumpy when I just
You were there for me when I needed you most, and I cannot overstate just how much I appreciate that, just how much that meant to me. So, that's it for now. Next week we'll have more to actually tell because we'll have had the property assessment thing, and I'll get the stuff from the doctor probably, and I'll done the DWP, and
we've already have this, and hopefully we finish the questions and have set them forward.
So, until next time, thank you for watching.
Bye.
Yeah.